Yeah, we'll just see what people like. I know a lot of people were definitely interested to see some PLO. I didn't realize how many people wanted to see PLO.
Oh, nice.
But I think that after they got their no limit fix, once they got their no limit fix, then they definitely wanted to see some more of that. But yeah, it's been pretty busy tonight on Twitch, which is really cool. Just to see so many people. Ooh, we could do make it a bit bigger. This title is more.
I've actually had a pretty good idea about streaming, like what we could do, and I feel like while people are listening, it's going to be a good time to kind of propose that and see what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Are you done setting it up? Everything?
I'm almost done.
Right.
So people aren't too confused about what the heck is going on. Boom. Alright. So we got consider turning on settings. Oh, I still have the music on. I'm gonna turn that off. I think people didn't like that last time.
All right, there we go.
We're on. Sweet.
All right.
See, and I even won some money. Two good things happened.
Yeah, like 5 billion or what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of considering playing without a HUD. It's actually what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Man, where's this thing telling me? Sorry. All right. Oh, we got it. Alrighty. I feel like this is gonna be more relaxed or something. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Want to hear my idea about streaming?
Yeah, sure.
So I feel like a lot of the people that are streaming poker right now are not actually kind of telling a consistent story, which isn't a bad thing. Like, you know, like Jay Carver, he just, well, plays. It doesn't seem like, you know, he doesn't move up, for example. Really, like it's not like he needs money. I mean, he's won a ton of money, and it's not like he tilts. I mean, he's kind of in a really good spot, and he just plays poker for entertainment on the stream. So I felt like, you know, we have a couple of guys that are trying to move up right now, and that we know pretty well. So kind of get that as much into the stream as possible to like get everybody involved with, you know, how somebody's actually grinding to get somewhere, because that's something that some streamers simply can't do because they're not in that situation. I don't know what you think about that.
About building it more as like a story.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, I guess so. Or kind of thinking about whether that's possible to do that. I also can't really do that, obviously, because that would mean that I would be playing like pretty high on a very regular basis on the stream, and I don't think that makes that much sense. So we kind of, I mean, you're doing that already, right?
Friendship ain't about trust.
Kind of
Friendship
moving
is
up.
about nunchucks.
But
Yeah, I mean, essentially that's what we're trying to do with the YouTube is like build a story of my journey, I guess, as a poker player, essentially. It's kind of like our angle. I mean, it is hard to do that. I mean, essentially you have to just be playing a lot and streaming a lot. I mean, it's the same as like keeping up with the, you know, the poker goals and challenges kind of thing. And that's what we're doing with the poker goals and challenges and this and the YouTube and yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's great for sure. Like I think it's exactly the right thing. Because like we know, like let's say you get 2 or 3 players into a stream that are all in that situation. Do you think that would be doable?
Into the same stream?
Yes. Like one after the other to kind of share the streaming, so that you can always be attached to. I mean, if I like, let's say I was watching you one evening, and then next day I was watching like a guy who's also playing 100, maybe on a different site, whatever. Just I watch him, and then I think if I do that for a week, I'll just be so attached to what's going on, because like maybe one guy's downswinging, maybe the other guy's upswinging. It'd just be pretty. It seems like that's a very intense experience potentially for the viewers. And it's something that you can't reproduce in any different game because, in a different game than poker, money doesn't matter. Like you're never in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Basically.
We can definitely see. I mean, that's what we're trying to do with me, and there are definitely some different things that Drew and I have talked about that we could consider. And see kind of what our options are.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds very good.
I think it is good at that. And I think that Jay Carver does a good job doing that the way he has this like run it up series where he starts with like I think it's like $50 and then the whole series he tries to run it up to like 10K.
Yeah, it's just kind of like in a I mean I don't know what you call that, but it's not the real deal in a sense because he does that for fun.
Yeah,
but if you compare that to somebody who has to do it, it's just so different, just emotionally.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, yeah, I definitely agree.
All right. I think, there's probably there could be some valuable feedback on this as well because, I haven't really thought it out at all. I just had this idea. It seems like that's really cool. That'd be a really cool thing to go for somehow. I guess you need this like small group of players and stuff. It's not that easy to get, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to get the sound fixed. Should be fixed.
Yeah, my setup is the same as before.
Yeah, I turn it down. Let's see if we can get it. Alright, cool. It's hard to know. With that 2-minute delay, it's like kind of, Yeah, we can see different things and have... I know that there is actually a project I haven't talked to you about, but there's something that is... I haven't mentioned it to the stream or anybody, but there is something similar to that may be coming up soon with some other people that I've talked to. But I don't know all the details on it yet, so we're going to see exactly how that goes. But it could, yeah. But I think that it's definitely interesting to hear those stories because I remember reading like Apotheosis wrote a blog on Ivy League, or maybe it was like Lego at the time, but about like when he first started and kind of what he was thinking, like basically saying like if he didn't have a big month, then he was done, and then he had a big month and another big month, and just now he's doing well. But yeah, that was definitely kind of an inspiring story to me for sure. To hear about all that.
Yeah, I think that it could be so intense. Like, just really imagine you have 2 people in the same stream. They kind of stream, like everybody streams for one evening, then the next guy, then the next guy. And then the one guy is running really horribly and the other guy's running really well. Like, that's just such a crazy dynamic going on there. That alone would just be so valuable.
Yeah, it's pretty
because that is important. People asked earlier how I work my mental game, and basically you just have to kind of experience these things and see how people deal with it, and then think about it, and then go back and kind of you have to be the guy who runs bad while your friends run good, and you have to be the guy who runs good while your friends run bad, and you don't want either. You don't want to be either of those guys. So it's just really intense.
Yeah, it would be funny to take all the streamers and have them show like clips of them when they're winning, like on a split screen next to clips of them when they're losing, kind of how their demeanor is. And
yeah. Just cut it in a really cool way.
Yeah, it would, myself included. I mean, it would definitely be funny to see. If it was, if it was you, it's probably just going to be pretty hard to tell. Because I know when you played that PLO session last time, it was, you lost a lot, but it didn't seem to phase you much.
Yeah, I was thinking about giving people more emotion, but it's actually hard to do for me. Also because things are fairly fast. It's not like I can just sweat and all in because I have two different decisions on a different table, maybe. Yeah. I guess this is not good. All right. These people. This would be a good spot to know anything about them, but we don't know anything because we refuse to use our HUD. So we just gotta play it like this. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely add a no limit table.
Yeah, like me, for example, I have been downswinging the last like 2 or 3 weeks, and it's been hasn't been ideal, I think, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's
just the way it is. Yeah, but it's also very subtle. It's not like, if you stream every day, I think it's very hard to like feel the downswing. But if you stream every other day and then somebody else streams in between, then these like subtle nuances, like the differences, they really show. So I think it's a pretty big difference.
It's kind of like when you have like when your friend has a dog and you see the dog every day and it's growing up big, but you don't notice, and then like you leave for like a few days and you come back or whatever. Maybe it's exactly. It's not exactly like that, but you like notice the differences.
I definitely get it. Somebody's asking why I have my hand at the top of the table. It's simply that my HUD is pretty expensive, and I just had to experiment how I need to, like, what table design do I need to pick and where to have to see myself so that the HUD works for me. And this is basically the design that I came up with. Mm-hmm. And man, I was like almost getting dizzy when I started playing like this. It took me quite a while to get used to it.
Oh, having yourself up on top.
Yeah, it's just like crazy. But I got used to it.
I imagine that would be the case. That makes sense.
What? Why don't you have software? I don't have software because I choose not to use it. I can use it, but I don't need to, I think, in this session. What's a contrived emotional experience? What does that mean?
I think he's saying like having like a big reaction. You don't have to have a big reaction to be an entertaining player.
All right, interesting. Whoa, I mean, there's a lot of questions.
Yes.
What's my role like? Yeah. I don't usually play this low. This is the being tired session where it doesn't really matter what we do.
Yeah.
So my role is suitable. Like I have enough to play these stakes for sure. Maybe we can turn that into what role do you need? Bryce, what do you think? What kind of role would you need to play 3 tables of 100 PLO?
Zoom. I mean, I don't play PLO, but from what I can tell, it's usually players want to have like 100 buy-ins. Probably between 8 and 10K, I imagine, to play those stakes.
Yeah, sounds reasonable. I mean, I would play these stakes with like 5K, but that's because I don't give anybody credit here. If you're not experienced, then definitely what Bryce said, like, yeah, 10K seems fair.
And I usually recommend I usually think like if your mental game has issues, then you're gonna want like more buy-ins. Especially, it seems like in a game like PLO, you would want that. I don't know, just my thought.
Yeah, no, for sure. I actually find PLO to be less tilting than No Limit because you always have equity, basically. That's very relaxing to me. But the swings are definitely bigger. Why does he talk like a douche? Man, can't help it.
That is a good question. Let's analyze that.
You can tell people about that. I got no idea, man. I've always talked like this. I'm trying my best, though.
It's cool to talk like a douche.
Interesting spot on table 1, and I really don't want to take too much time. I think I have to call. It's kind of a PLO thing. And now, oh, man, I think I just have to bet myself. Yeah, I bet this size. So table 1, we're kind of like, we have aces, and then we face a 3-bet, and we can't really get that much money to the middle. I don't think I can fold. We really can't get that much money to the middle by 4-betting, and 4-betting would turn our hand face up, so we just don't 4-bet, and so that this is a little more deceptive. I don't expect to have the best hand, really, but that's the way it goes. Maybe this guy times out. Okay, he didn't. That was my hope. All right, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, against his hand, like, if I 4-bet, he calls, and then he sees this flop, and I get it in anyway. And the only difference, as played, was that he's not going to put me on aces, and I can choose the flops a little bit better. Where I want to stack off, and then how I want to stack off. And that's pretty important. Like, if somebody puts you on a hand and you have that hand, then they typically make more money against you. And if they can't put you on a hand, then you make a little more money. It's called deception.
Wait, if they can put you on a hand and they play versus that hand, then they make more money. But if they put you on a hand and you don't have that hand, then you make more money?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you put me on aces, and that's what I have, then obviously, if I hit top set, for example, you're just going to fold a lot. So I make less. But if you put me on something else and I flop my top set with the aces, I make a lot more. Right?
I agree.
Yeah, that's it, basically. All I'm saying.
I agree. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break and grab something to drink.
Yeah, I'm just going to try my best to keep answering questions.
All right. Cool. Well, then I'll be right back.
All right. So let's see. Okay, we won a pot almost. The problem with playing regular PLO is that it would be a lot slower right now, because if I play 6 tables or something, the tables will be really small. So I feel like Zoom is a good compromise between speed and having big tables. If everybody told me to play regular tables, I would do that. So like if a lot of you guys want me to play regular tables instead, then sure. Where are you playing from? I'm playing from Germany right now, and I'll move to Thailand pretty soon. This might not be good, but let's do it. So hacked taco. I'm not a native English speaker, so like these stream names are interesting to pronounce. But I guess it's hacked taco or something. Asks whether my win rate is higher at PLO or Hold'em, and I don't know. I would say that I'm better at no limit Hold'em, but I'd also say that my opposition is worse at PLO, so it kind of evens out. Lumbeck. After reading Mental Game of Poker, what did you find to be your style of tilt? Read it a while ago. I don't really remember. I think winner's tilt is something that I've experienced a lot. And I think what kind of was most, like, really interesting for me was this whole thing of subconscious competence. So I had to, man, such a weird size. Almost want to jam. The problem is that, actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna fold. All right, yeah, unconscious competence. So what I really had to do was work on certain spots, so that the knowledge moved into my unconscious competence, so that when I was playing my B game or C game, that I wouldn't make certain types of mistakes. All right, just bink both. What are the highest stakes you play? 10, 20. No limit and PLO. But I haven't played a lot of 10-20 PLO. The game doesn't really run that much, and when it runs, the opposition is very, very, very tough. Table 1, not really. I could bet the turn here, but I feel like my 9 of clubs is a little too low as a blocker to do that. It's a spot where I could be wrong, though, for sure. Better to show us no limit 100 than PLO. Let's vote. Yeah, that's very possible. It's hard for me to tell. I find PLO more relaxing right now, but I would play no limit for sure. Does anybody seat script you? No Home Jerome. If you guys don't know that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was Phil Ivey. This has something to do with Phil Ivey. I think that's the name that he took on when he was young or something. Anyway, does anybody seat script you at the highest stakes? No, I don't think so. I mean, I can sit at 10-20 and I can play heads up against regular and nobody sits. All right, what I'm definitely going to do, just looking at these comments, I'm definitely going to switch to no limit later. Not yet, though. All right, no Home Jerome. I don't have a Russian PTR. It's like, what is it? 8:30 in the morning here. So I'm slightly, actually not tired, but I feel This is definitely interesting to play poker at this time of the day after not having slept. Yeah, you're welcome, Lembeck. So I assume you've read it as well. Yeah, I find that this whole unconscious competence thing is something that a lot of people kind of need to focus on. Just because people are... In the past, you could kind of win at poker without doing that much work. And nowadays, it's changed a lot. You need to work a lot. So, yeah, you just need to make sure that you're very solid in terms of mistakes that you really never make. And that's why I think unconscious competence, or whatever you want to call it, it might be a different concept then, but that's just extremely important. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sit out at this one table, and I'm just going to play 2 no limit and 2 PLO for a while, and then we can see whether that's okay or whether I need to get rid of PLO entirely.
Alrighty, I am back.
Hello, buddy. So we have the first request so far, I think, for 1 tabling, but I don't really think that's what we should do today. But I guess the more people ask for something, I'm simply going to do it wherever it is. Poker-wise, as you can see, I dropped a PLO table, and I'm playing 2 no limit 2 PLO now.
I think that's good.
Yeah. Definitely makes sense.
Table 2.
Pretty bad river.
Yeah.
What is the key to beat no limit 100? The key to start doing better at poker is to be very conscious of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I think, in my experience, you have to start using math one way or the other. That's going to help. Got it in a little bit bad there. That's okay. Oh yeah, see, so Noho and Jerome knows a lot better than me what his nickname means. Is supposed to be expected. It's a cool name. It's a really cool name.
Yeah, he went broke a couple times and had to like sleep outside, and couldn't afford like a bus ticket back home.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, shows you what you have to do if you want to be the best.
Degen it up.
I guess mixed. This is mixed game, right? I mean, I guess this isn't as mixed as it could be, but I mean, we're mixing a little bit already. I can't really play that many different games. I know the rules of PLO high-low, but I think if somebody watched me play that, who's good at it, he'd find it very entertaining, and not for the reasons that I want him to find it entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually going to do my best to play aggressively and just deal with what people throw at me.
I know that you stake some people who play in these games, so y'all study regularly, and you have moved through these games. How do you think, I mean, I guess you've seen me play some on Bovada. You think that, I mean, these games are obviously more aggressive, but what are some of the things that you think people do well and don't do well in these 100 NL or 100 PLO games?
Uh, I think something that they don't do well is just take the pot odds that people are offering them, and that sounds easier said. That's easier said than done. In poker, like yeah, pot odds are just very important, and it's you know, if somebody makes a small bet or a small raise, you kind of want to call, but on the other hand, you can't call with everything. So you have to. It's kind of quite a lot of game planning to say, okay, people don't call enough and raise too much, and I don't want to play like that. You have to construct your ranges in a different way. But you know, the way that the reason, like, or man, what did I want to say? Basically, the way you can exploit that people are not doing that enough is by stealing quite a lot in the three latest positions. Even like the button isn't going to be your only steal position. You can also steal on the cutoff for sure. You can steal in an MP even a little bit, maybe even under the gun. Just kind of exploit tightness, especially in Zoom. Man, if I break this, I think I bricked. Yeah, he just made a bloat. So sick.
I asked where.
Yeah, I think I answered the question somehow. I neither remember the question nor the answer, but
Where in
no,
D,
I did answer it.
D
Yeah.
do you go to play live?
Did I?
Oh yeah, you answered the question.
Are you still alive?
No, in DE, where do you go to play
I
live?
can't hear Bryce.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ghost asks in DE, where do you go to play live?
I don't play live. I was living in Malta with a couple guys, Zaza among them. All right, this is a fold now. And I played some live there, but wow, I would have gotten it in so good. So that's sick. All right. But that was kind of for fun. I really don't play live that often.
And how do you feel about Stars rake increases? Which I'm sure is, I mean, everybody's pretty much on the same page for that, I think.
Well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess it's not good, but I really don't have a huge opinion on it. It could mean that nothing really changes, that people still play mostly on stars and all those things. And, you know, that they get away with it, which is okay as long as you can still win at poker. I mean, no, it's not optimal, but it's kind of, if somebody has a big share in the market and people don't have a choice, then they can definitely set the prices. And the alternative, what it could also do is that there's going to be a bit more competition now, because they're kind of giving other sites the chance to exploit that. I mean, who knows? That would be good. So it could turn out to be a very good thing. Could turn out to be not so good. Just gonna fold this. And this is not a good spot.
On table one.
Was that table one? Yeah. I had like a pair and a flush draw and stuff, but it didn't really do that much for me. Table two. I have a pretty good hand against the raise. I could even just get it on the flop, but I think calling is probably better, because he turned his range face up as being a bluff or Jack 10, I guess. I mean, it could be something like, you know, King King with a nut flush draw, but typically it's going to be Jack 10 or a bluff. So now we have the best hand, and we also have bluffs, and he might have to check call. Sometimes, at least.
So in earlier streets, it was bad to have Queen of Spades, and then now it's good to have the Queen of Spades.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's just that he says he has a straight or nothing, and I say, okay, let's see as many cards as we can that hopefully change the board, and on those cards I'm going to make more money than you. Because he's going to have to bluff catch. Like now he has a bluff catcher. Yeah, whatever.
What is a good book for beginner players? I always get asked this, and I never know what to answer.
I honestly also don't know. Yeah, I really have no idea. Man, I kind of want to call here. Could be a mistake, depending how passive people are. I haven't read a poker book in ages. So, probably like anything that somebody who is okay has written, like preferably an online player. A friend of mine has written a book. It's called The Blue Book. But I guess that's for advanced players. I'm just going to slow play this. Like, I think it makes sense. He 3-bet so small that a 4-bet would give away too much. But that might not even matter. I mean, I don't know how good he is. But I'm just going to keep slow playing. Like, he has to have high cards. This is kind of an awkward card. I'm just going to have to call turn fold river. Gambler 7 deuce offsuit asks about people calling 3-bets out of position. Well, Gambler, it depends really how big somebody 3-bets. Yeah, I think you can comfortably call small 3-bets out of position with a lot of hands if you play reasonably well post flop. It's not something that you have to do. Yeah, like the kings. I put him, he has to have high cards pre-flop. So if he doesn't turn like jacks into a bluff here, which I think would be pretty crazy, then he has to have me beat. I could jam, but he's not going to fold for 27 more, I think. Who knows? I guess you never know with these people.
So like ace, queen, ace, jack, ace, king type hands.
Yeah, I mean maybe it was like a huge ding dong, and just had random cards, but I just hope that wasn't the case. I'm gonna 3-bet this. Not something I do a ton, but I think it's okay once in a while.
King jack offsuit is not a standard 3-bet versus the button for you.
Well, you know, he isolated. His range could be fairly strong. It's kind of hard to tell. And I'm trying to be a bit cautious in those spots. When I have kings in a position like this on table 3, I'm looking at like the stack sizes. You know, if I can slow play and then a shorty has to jam or something, that'd be pretty good. But we don't really have, like, we have this one medium stack, and I don't think he doesn't have to be that aggressive.
On the button.
Very.
Yeah.
So table 1. Yeah. Yeah. So now, fairly interesting situation. I think I have to half pot if I want to bet anything, and then I have to deal with what happens after that. That's a very big bet. He's a 4-star. I guess that doesn't mean that he's a fish because this is no limit 100. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call and fold some turns. Not this one. Yeah, I get away from my hand on a couple of turns, and that's pretty good.
Like a jack, a 10, or a heart?
Mostly heart, but you know, that happens 20% of the time.
There's some this blue book. I don't know if he sells it still. Does he?
I don't know. I think on table 3 I open preflop and then I see bet and bet this turn the guy raises me. And I don't really know what my standard should be. I guess I can't really do that much wrong by calling. Huh. That's the hand that I don't want to see. His play is not very good, even though that worked very well for him. Wow, guy does this at these stakes.
Well, it seems like his sets usually check raise the flop. Or raise,
I mean,
raise,
let me
raise
just,
the flop.
if I had been 100% sure how the hand went, then I might have jammed the turn. Okay, no. Like, he's kind of repping king 9. He might also just have some different 2-pair hands and raise with those. I definitely had a fine jamming hand, but I also have a good calling hand, no matter what his range is. So, as long as his range isn't precisely the nut flush draw, my hand is good as a call. I mean, you know, it's pretty good if these guys crush me a little bit in some spots. It's really no problem for me right now, but it's good for them. I think in poker, like poker is like a pyramid that if you play high stakes, then you kind of need people to sometimes take a shot at the high stakes. So you need people to move up from the low stakes. And, you know, if there's a certain stake that's going to be really hard to beat for some reason, be it rake or be it something else, then it's very hard for people to move up beyond that stake, and that's going to hurt the high stakes players as well. So just kind of sometimes playing lower stakes for fun, you know, not even playing your A game, maybe even spew a little bit, maybe do it when you're tilted to kind of blow off steam. It doesn't really matter, but just kind of give these guys a chance to, like, be aggressive against them, give them a chance to win money against me. It's a good thing.
Keeps their spirits alive.
Yeah, boosts their bankroll maybe. Can do lots of things. So, bang bang, thank you. King hand. Could you 4-bet fold the flop, or is that bad? There was 2. The guy raised really, really big. So there really wasn't any room to 4-bet fold. If it had been a smaller pot or something, then sure, like then 4-bet folding might be good. But as played, wow. That's pretty funny. But as played, I don't think it's not possible, because if I 4-bet and he jams, I'm getting like 5-1, and he would jam and not flush draw as well. So I have no way of knowing that he doesn't have that. So I'm going to have to call. Man, you're munching. What are you doing? This is really loud. Yeah, right. We got it as well. Probably without me. The 7-5 hand is tricky on the turn here. I guess I'm going to fold as a standard. Whether that's the best play, I don't know. But I think jamming could be a disaster. And calling could be okay, I guess. Well, I mean, if I jam the turn, what I'm doing is I'm kind of exploiting the fact that he's over c-betting with hands like ace queen and ace king. But the problem is those hands have a flush draw way too often, and that he can't fold that. So, so that's why I don't think it's very good to do that. You might actually win this. Okay, won the first one. We didn't. We won the second one. So crazy, man. God. See, I can't even say it like that. You're so. Yeah, I got you. That's your job, man. Just well done. You're gonna eat something. Yeah, I love it. Table 3. If this guy c-bet, like delay bets this turn a lot, then he's simply making a big mistake. Because I mean, I can check the turn to him, expecting him to bet, and then I can check raise a lot of hands. So that's just not good for him. So he kind of needs to be careful betting this turn. Yeah, so I can't do that. No, I just called pre-flop. Flop went check, so he has a capped range. And then he bets the turn. All right, I have this egg that I'm eating. Jesus, this looks kind of weird. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of people playing here that I know from stakes that are way higher. I wonder why they're playing this. I think he's actually moved down, but this D Redstone, I think he's played like 500, maybe even higher. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Wow. That's quads. The way these games play, I think I would either check raise the turn, which I think is good, or call the turn and then lead on a couple of board changing rivers, which I think is also good. I kind of favor check raising with this stack size. And with my exact hands, cards. I'm down this session quite a bit, I think. Yeah. Yeah, and that one no limit pot was also on the bigger side. This is kind of sketchy, but I think it actually works out okay for me. I've heard you though.
Yeah, I muted myself on OBS because I was crunching.
Oh, all right.
Crunching a snack.
Hope it was good.
Yeah. Corn nuts.
I know what that is, but it sounds awesome.
So
mean, I think, I mean, how much am I down? Like 200, maybe even more, 300. It's possible.
Are you about to go on tilt?
Whether I'm on tilt?
Are you about to go on tilt?
Yeah. Well, how did you notice from my voice?
You seem really, really furious right now.
Yeah, totally on edge. I just gotta eat some more egg. Usually helps.
No Home Jerome wants to know that the blue book is selling for $2,500. I guess he was curious about that.
Is it still?
I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but the way I understand it is that Reed would put a lot of, like, he kind of said, okay, I'm gonna put the 10 most valuable coaching sessions that I can give people into a book, and he charged that accordingly. I mean, if you get coaching from somebody who makes a lot of money at poker, you pay like whatever, like $400 an hour, maybe even more. So 10 sessions, $250 a piece, and that's the book, I think. Very structured and very good information, and I think it's kind of a tough sell for like beginning players for sure, but it's supposed to be really good for, like, I guess, you know, if you're like a good intermediate player and any type of advanced player. I think it's really good. It's very methodical, and I think that's the way poker works, to be very methodical about it.
And that's also somebody you work pretty closely with.
Reed? Yeah.
I know that the Let There Be Range book kind of took the same approach of like being pretty marked up, which, yeah, if you don't look at it from that standpoint, it does seem like really expensive. But if you do look at it from it like a value perspective, then it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, when I first saw like the pricing of the book without thinking about it, it definitely seemed really expensive. But after kind of thinking about the reasoning, it makes a ton of sense. And it's just the way it is. Like, if somebody shares poker secrets with you, you're gonna make a lot of money if you kind of work on them for a bit, because there's a lot of money in poker. Okay. This sucks. Oh boy. I guess I'm not really running into the best matchups right now. That was weird though. So we have another one of those spots where I kind of just check the river expecting him to bet, and then I can raise, and I can bluff like this, and he doesn't really know what to do, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty substantial raise there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he never has a good hand, so he can raise pretty big.
Bang Bang asks, did you build your whole bankroll with poker, or did you deposit from another income?
I deposited, I don't know, like 70 euros maybe. But yeah, that's it.
It's pretty good. Doesn't happen a lot anymore. It's hard to do.
Possible.
Although it probably didn't happen a lot back then, anyways. Like Tom Dwan, I know did a $50 deposit and just played like $5 sit and goes and ran really hot. He definitely admit like, and in those spots you have to run really good right away.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it always seemed like it works for everybody. Like, you know, when you kind of watch poker videos, it's just like everybody's like, oh, yeah, I just ran up $100 into $1 million, no problem. Oh, poker is so easy. I mean, I don't know. I definitely struggled in the beginning. It took me a while. But I was never planning on putting a lot of money into poker or like investing anything. Like, what's the point? It was either I was going to win something or I wasn't going to play.
These people are going, the people in the stream are going crazy that your cards are on top. It's like blowing their minds right now.
Yeah, man. I understand that.
I never.
As I said, it really took me a while to get used to it.
I never even noticed it, honestly.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I mean, I don't play that way. I don't know if I would like to play that way, but I don't know. I never really noticed it too much. What's up, Citizen? Yeah, they said it's 1K. So to Vegas and Southeast and 1K, they fill Galfon every month for Elite Rio.
Yeah, right. Getting a lot of check raises in. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely realize that I'm not that emotional. I wish I could be. I guess I just got to stream drunk one day. It's going to help.
Yeah. I think it's probably pretty normal. Somewhat normal.
That's actually something we should do. This is like quite a good idea. We could just get a home game going, you know, like the only people that we know, like 6 people, let's say, on 6 to 8 tables. Like, well, let's say, I mean, 4 to 6 tables, and then stream that. That's definitely possible. I think I would definitely be emotional then, because that would be insane. I don't want to lose pots against my friends. I need to crush.
Yeah, yeah, that would be sick if you could do like an all-star game, like you and 5 other guys, and y'all just play a bunch of tables against each other. Just kind of have like an all-star game, and then like one of you stream it on here, like you stream it or whatever, would be pretty cool. That would actually be really badass to have like a cash game all-star game.
I mean, we could definitely do that. I mean, I know some people who do it who play really high. I'm not really sure whether they can do it for whatever reason. I'd have to ask them, but I mean, we definitely get something going either way.
Yeah, it could be like an event we have in the future. Our New Year's stream or something like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think of these games so far?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm not getting 3-bet a lot. I feel like pre-flop. That's interesting. I don't really notice that much else so far. It's not that easy to tell for me.